Have you been trying every single business model that you see online today? The drop shipping, the trading, the cryptocurrency. If you can't hit any of these and none of these seems to be working, I've got something that you can get paid for simply just speaking to people. Have you ever seen those guys online selling some type of information, a course, a mentorship, or some type of coaching? Let me ask you a question. How do you think those guys actually make their money? Is it by what they're actually teaching in terms of the TikTok shop, the trading, the crypto? Or is it just by selling a course on actually how to do those things? It's by selling a course. Now you're probably wondering, Cam, if I don't have a skill set in these, how can I sell a course on them? And I'm not saying that you have to do that directly. What I'm saying is that you can actually get a piece of the pie by closing these guys' deals. This is something that we call high ticket closing, where you're not the guru yourself. You just take Zoom calls on their behalf and take a 10 to 15% cut out of every deal that you close. Just to put that in context, if you close a $10,000 deal, that's $1,000 simply over a 30-minute to 45-minute conversation with someone who's already interested. You actually want to know how it works, and I'm going to break it down in this video, how you can get started in the first 30 days and make your first bit of cash online. Now, just a heads up for everyone, there is no such thing as the best business model. However, if I were to recommend anything for someone starting out who's never had an online business, this is a skill set that you can't run away from. You're already in a vehicle that's making money and you're just learning a skill which you can later apply into any type of online business. Now, what you have to understand is these gurus, these marketers, they're really good at getting attention. They're really good at getting eyes on their product. They're not so good at, and what they tend to not really have time for, it's actually the selling process of it. And that's why it's in such high demand that no one's ever going to not look for sales reps who are going to make them more money. As you know, guys, people are paid into the proportion of the problems that they solve. So if you're making people money, you're going to get paid a healthy amount of that. This isn't some get rich quick. This is not the new shiny thing. This is not something that's been, created in 2025. This has been around for time, evolving within the info product space. It takes time to learn the skills, but if you actually are serious about making your first bit of cash online as a beginner, then this is a vehicle which is never going to run out of demand. You see guys like Alex Hormozi, Brad Lee, Grant Cardone. Do you think they're selling their 40,000 coaching programs, or do they have people taking these calls on their behalf? If you have someone selling you a $40,000 program at 10 to 15% commission, do the maths on the amount of money that these guys are able to make. That's not with any client results. They don't have to deal with any chargebacks. They're simply just closing the deals because of a skill set that they built over time. Now, that's a skill set that I built for myself a year and a half ago when I first became a footballer and I transitioned out of it into my first online business. Now, I tried the copywriting, I tried the TikTok shop, I tried all the side hustles that you guys are seeing on YouTube. And the thing that stood out for me is I don't even have to start my own business. I don't have to deal with client services. I just get in a vehicle which is already printing money and just get a part of that. Now, one thing, I don't want you guys to leave this video thinking, Cam, that's a great idea, and that's a great idea, but how can I actually apply it? Break down every single part that if I were to start again, is going to fast track my journey to my first $10,000 online. Right, if you made it this far until the video, give yourself a pat on the back. Here's the exact step-by-step process that I would use if I had to start a year and a half ago again to make my first $10,000 online, okay? So, just to give you guys a bit of context, I went from kicking this round thing to then closing deals in a high rise. Yay. Okay, so how did I do this? Well, first things, I didn't do copywriting because just let you guys know, I've never seen a successful person with a copywriter personally. So I wouldn't say it's the best thing in demand right now to get your first cash online quickly. Also, you don't have any skills right now, so SMMA doesn't make sense, the whole Iman Gadzhi model. You can do that after once you actually learn the skills. And most definitely, I wouldn't become a streamer because if you want to make cash online quickly, then this is more of a long-term play, which is more reliable. Okay. Now, I would do something called high ticket closing. Okay. So if you don't know what that is, like I've said to you before, you see these guys, Grant Cardone, Hormozi, Tony Robbins, right? You've seen these guys all over the internet. They got large amount of audience. They got loads of attention on them. Okay. Now, what do these three guys have in common? Well, they sell high ticket info products, which in simple terms is essentially mentorships, courses, coaching for expensive prices. Anywhere from like $3,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000, up to $50,000 and up beyond that, right? But let's just say $10,000 for now, right? So as a high ticket closer, we're not the gurus. We don't have to deal with any fulfillment. all we do is just take Zoom calls, Google Meet calls, which are booked inbound onto our calendar. And then guess what? We get 10% commission off that. Now, so if you close a $10,000 deal, you get this nice little notification right here. That's $1,000 in your pocket over a half an hour to 45-minute conversation. Now, what I'm here to answer you guys is, can I do this if you have a 9-to-5 job? Now, I started with a job. I started with other commitments. So you definitely can do this starting out if you're in school, if you have a job. What you can do is operate on a calendar, which is in like, if I'm in the UK, so you can do US hours, or if you're in another time zone, you can do another time zone, right? Simple as that. Now, what are some lies from gurus about this space? What this is not, and I'll say this to the end of it, what this is not is you can just hop on these calls in your pajamas, take 3 calls a day and make 10K a month. No, like that's a lie that you've been fed from Instagram ads and these IG role coaches. That's not real. This takes a work ethic from you. It takes a while to earn the skills and actually learn the skills and actually ask for this type of money from people. There is a certain like self-development aspect to it. So it's not that simple, okay? So you're going to have to work ethic. You're going to have to, be able to self-set your own leads. You're going to have to do these things. But as long as you learn the skill, then you'll be fine. Now, the question that comes to mind is, how do you actually learn the skill? Well, the way that I learned the skill is investing in someone who already knows what they're doing. That way you can just pay with your money rather than your time. But God forbid people pay with money. So if you actually want to do it the free way, then there are free resources, places like YouTube. Watch people's live sales calls, take notes on them, notice the language that they're correcting, the frameworks that they're using to get people to expose their limiting beliefs and whatnot. Take notes on them. Then what I do, I'd put myself in every single remote sales WhatsApp group chat, Telegram group chat, Discord, Facebook groups. Stay away from Facebook groups, to be honest. They're all pretty scammy. But and then I'd role play with the people inside and build it out, my calendar, as if I'm on a closing offer. Now, in order to get your first offer, I'll make it super simple. I might even do another video on this, guys. But if you want to get on your offer in the first 30 days, what I do is what not a lot of you retards would do is actually get a willing paying client to the person that you want to work for. So say you want to work for someone selling a TikTok shop affiliate program. You don't even work for the person at this point, but what you're going to do is you're going to reach out to people who've engaged with that type of content. Then you're going to, frame a conversation, get them interested, and then put them in a 3-way chat with the person that you want to work for. Now, what does this do? This shows you're, 1, competent, you know what you're doing, you've already got a pretty much almost paying client, like you basically set an appointment with a business that you don't work for. Now, when you ask for a closing role and you ask to close their deals after that, do you reckon they're going to be more likely or less likely? Obviously, they can see you've got some type of brain set, some type of IQ, and you're not a retard, and you can actually be competent. Then just ask them, hey, do you have any roles on your closing team? And 5, 7 times out of 10, they're going to give you a role because you showed competence. Peace.